So, you clicked on the link wanting to know why I am a blubbering mess when I hear or sing or even think of Mercy Me's Even If. Well, for those who don't know, Christian music is my background. I used to be a minister, a worship leader for a while, and I no longer am. That doesn't mean that I don't believe. It just means that my beliefs are different. But I still believe. What hasn't changed, though, is that all throughout my life, my typical history and my very atypical history, I have had recurrent issues with trust. So I'm going to read something first before I go on any further. It's a little excerpt out of Keep Your Love On. It's by Danny Silk. It's amazing. Any kind of relationship, you should read it. This little part says this. For many people, trust means I need to be able to anticipate your decisions. I need to know that you would do what I would do. On one level, that's absolutely right. Two people in a relationship need to be on the same page about who they are and what they're going after. But if trust hinges on my ability to anticipate your behavior, then our connection is going to be threatened. Every time you do something that I would never do, I begin to think, I didn't anticipate that. You're not acting like me. How could you do that? I can't trust you now. This version of trust quickly turns to mistrust, which is another word for fear. Incidentally, many people get disillusioned and hurt when God does not do what they think he should have done, because they could not predict his behavior. They decide not to trust him. Does that mean God's not trustworthy? Absolutely not. So, knowing that I have this history of not believing really that God has my best interest at hand, and never seeing him do what I think that he should do, we fast forward to now, and I am a mess. Those who know me know the real mess that I am. Those who don't, let me just do a little recap of the last 3.5 years. I have moved from one province to another. I have experienced 3 deaths in the last 3 years, 2 of which I was extremely close to. Both of those 2, I was there till the very end. One of which I did the hard thing of doing hospice with, which I recommend for any family member to do for their loved one, but it is hard and it takes a toll. I've had one family pet pass away, and in the 3 years I've experienced 2 miscarriages, one of which quite traumatic. Financial issues. We are moving back to the province that we were at soon. So I have those issues. All the while, I am dealing with PTSD, depression and anxiety, and trying to figure out who I am in all of this and my worth in this life. I don't know. And so I'm jumbled with all of these things and trying my hardest to believe that God's not going to leave me stranded in this. And then I look at the reference of the song that he's singing about, which is, "It is well." And for those who do not know the history of that song, the man who wrote it was a lawyer and a businessman in Chicago. And he was married. He had 5 children. Right before the Great Chicago Fire, he lost his youngest son to illness, and then much of his business in the Great Chicago Fire, like a lot of them did. And then they started to prosper again. So he sends his wife and his 4 daughters on a vacation to Europe, and he's going to meet them there because he has to stay. So he sends them on this ship. 4 days into the sail, it wrecks. And he loses his 4 daughters. And when he goes to meet his wife, the captain calls down to him when they get to that 4-day mark to show him where the wreckage was. And at that point, he started to write the song It Is Well. And some of the lyrics are, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. So when I sing that song, or I hear it, and know that anguish of my whole life, I have felt like God forgot me because he didn't do things the way I thought that they should have been done. Not the way that he's doing it, because he has perfect timing and a perfect plan, and I don't. I want to be able to I want to remember that even though he doesn't move the way I think he should, it doesn't make him untrustworthy. Absolutely not.